Thank you, Alicia, and from my side, welcome everybody. Thank you for your time. I mean, it's Thursday afternoon or evening. Thank you for your time and joining us. From my side, I'm Samuel Weiß. I help people, like especially expats, to grow up to build up wealth with real estate. And in the beginning, I want to ask you something. Do you see this briquette? What do you think? What is the difference between this one, between a real estate? This should be a real estate, and this bill, this 10 euros. What do you think? I mean, you can write it in the chat. What do you think? What is the difference between those two objects?
I think the real estate increases value in time, and the 10 euro note, I think because of inflation, and so it could reduce to maybe 8 euros in 3 to 4 years.
Very good, very good. That's true. The real estate will be like the value will be double in 10 years, like will be twice in 10 years, and the value of this bill would be like half of it. At least half of it. I mean, if we talk about inflation, I think everybody knows we have inflation around about 7 to 10%. It depends on which type of article. But we have a high inflation, and that's the topic today: the difference between money assets and then valuable, like a touchable asset. Okay. First of all, before we start with the valuable assets, like about before we talk about the benefits of the valuable asset, I would like you to interact with me. Like it should be like a dialogue, not a monologue. So what do you think? Which benefits do we have within real estate for investment, like in touchable, like in valuable asset? What do you think?
I think we have if you invest it as an investment purpose and not for yourself to live, for example, then you can generate a rental income through it.
Rental income, okay. That's true. We can create some income on top of your salary or on top of your pension in the future. Tax benefits. I read some answers. Tax benefits. First of all, we have a lot of tax benefits. I will write down some words. Tax benefits. Do you know how this works with a tax benefit? Maybe a few of you didn't know we have a tax benefit. A tax benefit you get a tax return because you give other people property or space to live in. That's why the German government gives you a tax benefit, and you get a good amount of money at the end of the year. You get money back from the government. So it's not only the tax benefit right from the beginning, it's also we have a tax benefit after 10 years. So after 10 years, you can sell a real estate. Like if we talk about in real estate for investment, you can sell this real estate, and the profit or the benefit, like the profit you gained during the 10 years, it's tax-free. So this is the second big benefit we have with real estate for investment. So the third benefit we have is we have the security. Somebody wrote it down. We have the security. I mean, we are talking about real estate for investment. We are talking about real estate. If it's for investment or not, I mean, the difference is huge, and I think it's something we can talk about in a consultation. What's the difference, and also how to get to an own home. But if we talk about real estate and about like connected to security, we all live in a real estate. Right now we are sitting, I think most of you are sitting in the real estate. Maybe some of you are sitting in the car or maybe outside, I don't know. But most of you are sitting in the real estate. So why should I not invest in a real estate like the oldest product, like we are living in a real estate, and we get more and more people on this world, on this earth. So why should we not invest in real estate? Because there's a lot of need of real estate, of property, of apartments. So the third point is security. So if we have a lot of need, and then the value will go also up. So let's talk about the value. We have a value, like the value increases at least 4.7%. This is what we had in the last 40 years in Germany. I'm talking about real estate in Germany. Okay, so we had at least 4.7%. So the value is always increasing all the time. The fifth benefit, I mean, these are not the only benefits we have, not the only advantages we have with real estate. But the fifth benefit in Germany, especially in Germany, we live in a welfare state. A welfare state means if you have in real estate for investment and you give this real estate for rent, what do you think if the renter, like if the tenant is getting unemployed, who is going to pay the rent for you? Like you're the owner and the tenant gets unemployed. What do you think, who is going to pay the rent? What do you think? State, okay. Very good answer. I mean, I wrote it down, taxpayer. At the end, we are the taxpayer, we are going to pay, yes. But second of, like the state and the government is paying the rent for the like to the owner, to us investors. So it's something like, it's not only the security, because we have a lot of need to live for apartments, but also we have the security if the tenant, which is living in the real estate, if he is unemployed, the state, the government will pay this real estate. So, you know, the topic today is real estate versus ETFs. I mean, I just went through a few of advantages and benefits, and something like to go deeper into this topic about advantages about real estate is something we have in the consultation one by one. But let's talk about the difference between real estates and ETFs, because as Alicia said, a lot of experts they invest in ETFs, and a lot of experts they just maybe you don't know how to invest in real estate, and a lot of people think you have to be rich to invest in real estate. But let's see what the difference is. So when we talk about an ETF, I think a few of you would invest right now in ETFs. What do you think? Or maybe you know, which advantages do we have with an ETF?
Liquidity, for me, it's the biggest, I have to say.
You mean access, like it's the access is good, like it's available? This is one point, yeah, accessible. One point. What do you think? Which points do we have? Like, which benefits do we have beside accessible or liquidity?
Yeah, it's easy to invest. Like, you don't need a lot of knowledge to start.
Easy to invest. Easy to invest. Okay, that's true. Okay.
What many people don't know, I'm jumping in. It's like you can start even with a client with 25 euros. What is like very nice. So everyone can start.
I think it's connected to easy to invest. It's you don't need a lot of money to invest.
Correct.
Okay. I also think, and that's why you invest in ETFs, you want to increase the money. Okay, and the value goes up. I think that's the main reason why do you like profit. Gabriel, you said it, profit. But what's about the tax? Do we have to pay tax?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. Alicia, if you are on the if you go on the border, let's not talk about this. But I mean, in Germany, you have to pay tax for the ETF. Okay, and I think these are the this is one of the biggest differences we have between an ETF and real estate. For real estate, you don't have to pay tax, like for the profit you gain. Okay, and you like if we talk about 10 years and afterwards, But during the 10 years, you also get a tax return. And let's see what's about the profit. And I wrote down some numbers, and just to see, just for you to easy to see what's the big difference between real estate and ETF. And I wrote down, like, I took a profile. Imagine you're a person, you're earning money in Germany, you go to work every day, you're earning money, and you have maybe 800 or 10 or 1,000 euros left. Like, it's you could invest easily 400 euros every month. Okay, and let's say you have you have savings with 20,000. Like, you have 20,000 euros of savings, and you say, listen, Alicia, or maybe you find some other broker, or maybe some other consultants, and you say, I want to invest 400 euros every month, like each month 400 euros, 20,000 euros of investment in the beginning, like a one-time investment. And we always let's take let's compare the real estate versus the ETF for a period of 10 years. Okay. So let's see what we do, how much profit do we do, how much do we gain with an ETF. And let's take the average profit. I mean, I know there are some ETFs more than 5%. I know there are some ETFs lower than 5%, but let's take 5% every year. Okay. So I just calculated, and I mean, it's a German calculator, so I will explain all the numbers. We took 20,000, like you took 20,000 euros from your savings, you invested in the ETF, and you also invested on top of the 20,000, 400 euros every month for 10 years. So this means 20,000 euros in the beginning, 400 euros every month, with 5% increasing every year. We have, after 10 years, we have a value at the end, after 10 years, in 2033, from like about 89,990 euros. But we also have to calculate, you have at the end of the year, with the tax declaration, you have to pay 25% for the profit. Okay. And also we have 1,000 euros of benefit, or like of profit, you don't have to pay for the 1,000 euros every year, it's tax-free. Okay. It changed between last year and this year from 801 to 1,000 euros. Okay. So how much did you invest during the 10 years? You invested 68,000, like 20,000 in the beginning, 48,000 during the 10 years. And at the end, you have 89,990. So you gained, like you had a profit of 25,000, but also you had to pay tax of around about 4,000 euros. Okay. So in 2033, let's imagine today's 2033. You invested 68,000. You have right now 89,990. Your profit is 25,987. Okay, it's good. It's nice. I mean, it's nice to have with 5% every year. It's nice. Mm-hmm. Everyone fine with these numbers, or maybe I mean, maybe you have some other ideas. This is how it works with an ETF with 5% every year. Okay. If you have questions, just write it down in the chat, and then we can talk about this also.
Yes.
Now let's see. I mean, as Alicia said, I'm a real estate investor enthusiasm. I'm investing. I can tell you. I would say 90 to 95% of all my money in real estate. And let's see why. Maybe you have some other thoughts about this, but let's see with the same numbers, how does it work with a real estate? How would it look like with a real estate? And I took a real estate, I mean, 250,000, like let's say a real estate, the price would be 250,000, and you take this money from the bank as a loan. Also in Germany, there's a rule, you have to pay side costs. You have to pay side costs for the notar, a notary for the registration. The registration is at the court. You have to pay a few fee, and also you have to pay tax to the government because you bought a real estate. So it depends on the state, but it's between 3.5 and 6% of tax which you pay to the government. So I took 8% altogether. 6% of tax plus 2% of registration fee, notary cost, everything together. So we have 8% from 250,000. This would be 20,000. The same amount of money which you invested in an ETF. So
and you find the real estate without broker, no?
It's without broker. Yes, that's a good point. Without broker, with a broker, it would be around about 10%, maybe 11%. It depends on which agency fee they take. So, without broker.
It also depends, Samuel. Sorry that I interrupt you. I'm curious. But it depends if you buy something for your own or as an investment, right? Because there are also
it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
The same side cost. The same if it's for your own or if it's an investment real estate. The same.
I mean the agency fees, the broker fee.
No, it's the same also.
It's the same.
Okay. Okay.
What I calculated is with a good increasing, I mean, with a good run with 4%, with an, 4% is not good, but it's the average we had in the last 40 years. As you know, like as I mentioned it 5 minutes ago, we had 4.7%, 4.6, 4.7% in Germany the last 40 years. We had a run with 10, 12, 15%, depends on the location, but let's take 4% and also 2% increasing every year. Okay, we want to know the better situation and the not so good situation. Let's see with 4% how this would look like. 250,000 euros of investment today. We want to see, okay, in 10 years. I mean, if we talk about real estate for investment, you have to think for a period of 10 years. That's why I took 10 years with an ETF. Now we take the 10 years with real estate. 250,000 euros. This is the price of the apartment. Now let's see, with 4% increasing every year, we want to know how much would be the value in 10 years. So with 4%, we would have 370,000 euros. A lot of people say it's a lot. If we talk about the last 10 years, it's easy. I mean, it's almost 3 times more than we had 10 years ago. It depends on the location, it depends on the real estate, but in average we had minimum 4%. So after 10 years, 370,000. And now let's see, I mean, you make a down payment, and not only you, but the tenant who is living in there. I mean, the tenant pays most of the fee or most of the EMI for this loan. So 250,000 euros today, you'd get it from the bank as a loan with 4% of interest charge, with 2% of down payment, down payment, what you pay down from the amount of money. After 10 years, you have a remaining loan of 188,000 euros. Now imagine in 10 years, 2033, you want to sell this real estate, and we have the value of 370,000, and the still remaining loan would be 188,000. Now you sell the real estate, you pay back the remaining loan to the bank of 188,000, your profit would be 182,000 euros. Okay. Let's see. I mean, now we know how much profit we did. We didn't know in the beginning how much percent we do every year, like an ETF, with an ETF. But let's see, how much did we do during those 10 years? We invested 20,000 euros, the same amount of money with an ETF, 400 euros every month, because we have to pay management, the rent is maybe not enough, like not as high as the EMI, and maybe you have some side cost for the management, for the bank account fee, maintenance, savings, whatever. So you invest 400 euros. At the end, you have 188,000 euros of profit. So this means you have a 15.13% of increasing every year. Okay, did everybody get it? So let's see, how is it with 2%? It's the minimum what I always calculate. With 2%, 250,000 euros today, 2% every year. After 10 years, this is the minimum. 304,748 would be the value in 10 years. Now imagine 2033, you want to sell the real estate and you have the value of 304,000 euros. The remaining loan is the same. It's all like only the value changed. Only the value was a little bit lower than the first one. So the new value was 304. The remaining loan is still 188,000. So this means after selling this real estate, you have a tax-free profit of 116,000. Now the same game. We want to know, with a profit of 116,000, after 10 years, we want to know how much percent did we do every year. So with the minimum increasing every year, we still have 8%. So any calculation I do, I mean, I did maybe, I don't know, 300, 400 calculations in my past, not only with my real estates, but also with the real estate of our clients. I always have the same situation. I always beat any products on this market, any products, because, and I mean, we calculated the worst or the not so good situation with 2%. Okay. I see some questions. One pays tax on cardinal interest paid in. Maybe we can discuss it at the end, and then we can go through the questions, and then we'll talk about this. Okay.
That's very interesting, Samuel. Like, because many of our clients are saving that amount or more, or ask to save about, like, I want to save 1,000 or 1,500 per month at a certain age. And it shows that you can split your savings in different pools. You know, you can, yes, ETF. I'm a big ETF fan. I have both. Actually, ETF helped me to buy my real estates, I have to say. I bought my second real estate because I crashed my ETF account, basically. So I see the benefits here, but it's nice to see that, you know, with only 400 euros, that's possible.
It's a good point to talk about those 400 euros. Where's the mistake in this calculation? Maybe somebody got it during this calculation. What will happen with those 400 euros? What do you think? I mean, right now we are calculating with 400 euros every month during the next 10 years within real estate. But what do you think if we talk about the rent, if we talk about the maintenance savings, the side cost you have as an owner, about the EMI, which amount of money, which number will change in the next 10 years? What do you think? Hausgeld, okay. Very interesting. Why should the Hausgeld change? I mean, the Hausgeld changes if we need more side costs, if the tenant uses more side costs, at the end the tenant pays it. But let's talk about the rent. What happened in the last 10 years with the rent? Did the rent stay the same, or did the rent also increase? What do you think? a rent always went up. I mean, it's up to you, up to the management. If you say, okay, listen, I want to stay at the same level with 600 or 650 euros. It's your thing. But if you have a good management, and also imagine the tenant moves out, it would be not so smart from you and from us if we would not increase the rent. So this amount of money, these 400 euros will always go down during the next 10 years. So at the end, you don't really pay 400 euros 10 years long. So at the end, you have the same profit, like much more profit. This number will increase also, or the first number of almost 15% will also increase because you increase the rent. So your investment will always go down during the 10 years. Okay, it's always up to you, always up to real estate agent, always up to the management. It would be really not nice if the 400 euros would stay all the time, like would stay the same. Okay, so just to compare every number, we had an investment with an ETF, with a real estate, the same investment, 68,000 euros, 20,000 in the beginning, 48,000 during those 10 years. With a 2% increasing of in real estate, we have a profit of 48,000 euros. With 4%, we have a profit after every cost, like after the beginning investment and the investment during the 10 years of 114,000 euros. Okay, so the summary, I wrote down some all those products. I mean, an ETF with 5%, real estate with only 2%, and real estate with an average profit of 4%. So the investment is the same, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. The monthly investment is the same, but I marked it a little bit because the investment for a real estate will always go down. The total investment is 68,000, 68,000, 68,000, but the profit at the end is round about 26, 48, and 114,000. And this is the big difference, because we use the leverage effect. We use the leverage effect. We take, imagine Alicia is the bank. You are the owner. You take from Alicia 250,000, and I'm the tenant, I'm your tenant, and I'm paying back most of the 250,000 to Alicia, and you are happy at the end. You are on the side, and the tenant pays most of the down payment to the bank, and you are the owner of these 250,000 at the end when you paid back the loan. Okay. So did everybody got those numbers? Did everybody got the information what the difference is between ETF and real estate? Maybe first of all, maybe let's talk about the questions. Alicia, what do you think?
Yes, of course. I have here two good questions. Is the 4% interest rate on the loan maximum charged by the banks?
If I understood the question right, right now we have 4% up to 5%. I mean, I can tell you today I got the yes for our client with 3.7 or no 3.9%. It always depends on how much investment do you do in the beginning. How is the value of the real estate, and how old are you, and also do you have a good monthly calculation?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's a good question. What most commonly goes wrong with investment? So let's talk about risk in real estate in Germany. What is the biggest challenge? And also I want to point out that, that we are expats in case we move out as well, not only for us, especially.
I saw it in LinkedIn.
Sorry?
What most commonly goes wrong with investing in real estate? I think the most important thing, that's what I always say in the consultation, the most important thing is we have three important things in Germany: location, location, location. If we talk about good location, the value increases. If we talk about good location, we have a lot of tenant which wants to move if the tenant moves out. If we have a good location, we can increase the rent. So it's all about the location. If you buy in a bad location, it's not nice. So location is the most important thing. What could go wrong? I mean, we are all people. If you have a wrong tenant, if you have a tenant who lives in the real estate and he doesn't pay the rent and you have to pay the EMI, it's not a good situation. So find a good management, find a good management who takes care about the tenant. So every risk we can reduce really up to zero, like down to 0%. So this is something I talk about in the consultation. We also got an insurance against, not against, but we have an insurance. If the tenant doesn't pay the rent anymore, the insurance pays the rent up to 12 months. So we can always reduce the risk, but the risk is always there. The risk is in every investment has a risk, but the risk within real estate, I would say, down to 0%.
It's a calculated risk, as I see. Samuel, you think that the real estate prices still go up with the current higher interest rate? How is the current market situation according to you?
Here, the same thing. I mean, if we're talking about a good location, if we're talking about a location connected to a bigger city, I cannot imagine that prices would go down. Why should the prices go down? I mean, we have, I think for 30 years ago, we had half of the people which lives living on the earth. So we doubled in the last, I mean, 30 years. So if we have a lot of people living in Germany, especially in Germany, I'm talking about a good economy, the best economy in Europe, why should the prices go down? If maybe somebody of you heard about the news we had, I mean, 2 or 3 months ago, the government said until 2035, I mean, no, 2025, we still need 400,000 new apartments because we have a lot of people living in Germany. We have a lot of students and we have a lot of refugees coming to Germany. We have a lot of guest workers coming to Germany. We need a lot of workers in Germany. So why should the price go down? Maybe in locations far away from bigger cities, in like a one-family houses, the prices could go down because they have to refund, like to get the new loan from the bank after 10 years. Then the prices could go down. But good locations really will not go down.
Thank you. Before we answer Said's question, I have a question on behalf of many of my clients. What does a client need to invest in a real estate? What are the conditions? Like real estate is an investment. Like what profile I do need to have as a client, and how old can I be, should I be?
Very good question. Thank you, Alicia, for this question. First of all, we need a clean Schufa. A clean Schufa means you don't have, like, if you have a loan for a house or if you have a loan for a car, then your monthly calculation should be also positive. But a clean Schufa means you have no issue with the court, you have no issue with the bank. So a clean Schufa is something we need for the loan from the bank. Also, what we need is I would say minimum 2,500 euros netto salary. Okay, this is what we need right now, minimum. I'm talking about a single person. If you're married, if you have children, you need a little bit higher salary. It always depends on your life situation. Do you have a car? How much rent do you pay? Always depends on this. So the age is not, yeah, it's important, but for example, our last client, she is 50, but she brings a lot of Eigenkapital. This means she will bring a lot of investment in like a one-time investment. So if you're older, you need more money. You have to, you need a higher down payment. If you're younger, like, I mean, it's the best if you buy real estate as young as you can. Okay. So what else we do? We need around about 10,000 euros is round about the minimum what we need. Also, what we could offer is some banks, some real estates we could also give the loan without any investment, without any savings. This is something I would say 99% of the banks out there, or 99% of the companies out there cannot offer anymore. But if the bank calculates the value from the real estate and the value of yourself, like of your salary, of your monthly calculation, both calculations are fine. They give the month like the not only 100% but 110%, like the side cost on top of the real estate. Okay. Also, what do we need? It's in the best case we need an PR. It's something. The bank also wants to have a security, so you don't run away in a foreign country, or you don't just quit the loan and go out of Germany. So the PR is, in the best case, it would be nice to have a PR. But in the last 4 weeks, we have right now the second client which will get the loan without PR, only with the blue card. It also depends in this situation about your salary, about your monthly calculation, about your savings, and it's always connected. Also, what do we need is a working contract. I mean, this is, I think most of you have a working contract. If without working contract, you would not be in Germany. That's what I think. And also, a clean Schufa. These are the main points we need. And these are the main points of the profile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I will step to the next question from Syed. How much is the tax on rent collected? As we pay for every year, we pay 42% of the profit of rent to tax. Then we lose this out of profits. That's a good question.
That's the question. How much is the tax on rent collected?
So if you pay, for example, I collect rent from you because you live in my place. If I have to tax it with the same amount that I'm paying taxes to the government.
It's a good question. I could answer this really in detail, but it would take maybe half an hour. I could do this, and I do this during the consultation in detail. I can tell you, rental income is like a salary. So this will go on top of your salary, but also, and this is the good thing in Germany, you can mention or you can declare a lot of expenses. So not only the interest charge, but also all the renovation, all the the management cost, everything connected to the real estate for investment. I'm talking about real estate for investment, not real estate where you live in, not an own real estate. So also on top, and that's what I told you in the beginning, we have this big benefit of a tax return because we can declare an expense which you don't have. But if you give people a place to live in, you can declare an AFA. This is the AFA, Abschreibung für Abnutzung. This is the word in Germany. This is what you declare at the tax declaration, but you don't pay. This reduces the value of the real estate, and that's why you can mention a big amount of money as an expense.
Yeah, so
but this is something I can explain it really close and really in detail in an
important topic. Yeah. Sorry, the connection. It's such an important topic, what you're mentioning, Samuel, that we already talked about it, to do a next webinar just only on taxes and real estate. You know, like what happens with the tax benefits, but also how much taxes I have to pay, etc. Which timeline? That's very good questions.
Yes.
Then Charlie, yeah, how much cost time? It's a good question. Do I have to put in real estate as an individual? And if it is pushed off onto a property management company, and how much will it cost to have such a help from a property management company?
I like the question, how much should I invest in a real estate? A good client, the best clients, I would say, I mean, there are no good and best, and no, that's not what I'm saying, but minimum 10% of your netto salary, you should invest in a real estate, minimum.
In time?
If you could invest more, up to 20%. So 400 euros, this is what I mentioned before, it's the maximum after tax returns, it's the maximum what you need to invest in a real estate. Time, yes, in the beginning, I mean, a consultation takes time, 5-6 meetings, but honestly, it's easy. I mean, if you have a good real estate agent, like this is what we offer, it's easy to buy in real estate. And after buying a real estate, it's, if you have a good management, you invest maybe, really, honestly, maybe, let's say 4 or 5 hours in a year, all together, if you have a good management. Okay.
Thank you. And how much does it cost? Like the management, like Pi mal Daumen?
It's always like we have a must-have management in Germany. Like if you buy in real estate, like an apartment in a house, we have a house management. This is a must-have management. This costs around about between 25 and 40 euros every month. This is included in the 400 euros. That's why I took 400 euros. Then we have a management nice to have. It's a management especially for your apartment. And this is a good thing, what we also offer. This management costs between 15 and 29.99, like, yeah, between 15 and 30 euros in a month.
That's affordable. And what about old buildings built in 1900? What are you referring this question exactly? Maybe you can ask Samuel directly about the 1900 question.
Is this like about the building or? It always depends on which renovation did the last owner do in this building. It always depends on this. If we talk about, honestly, if we talk about a made in Germany building, you can go through every city. We have buildings from 16, 17, 18, 1900. They are still good. And if the current owner or the last owner did renovations, it always depends on what did he do. Did he do the heating? Did he do the roof? There's a saying, kernsanieren or modernisieren. There are some big differences, and but the walls in Germany, they're always really solid. So it's really right now I cannot answer the question, okay, what's about the value? If we talk about the value in the last 20-25 years, every building went up crazy.
Thank you. What is about probation time? Maybe I have a contract, but I'm still in probation time, like the 6 months in Germany.
There is one option. We have a lot, like not a lot, but a few clients, they were in probation time. There's one option. If you go to your boss, I mean, if we talk about probation time, it will end in, let's say, July, then it's not a problem, because 1 or 2 months, that's really not a lot. During a consultation, it takes time, but there is one option. If you go to your HR and they sign like a document where it says your probation time, like they will not fire you before the probation time will be done, then this is enough for the bank to give you a loan. This option like we have.
Yes, exactly. I think you answered this question that the cost of a good management you already included in the 400.
Yes.
Right.
Sandeep, one really interesting question about Erpacht. Erpacht is not not the bank doesn't want to. Let me say like this. The risk for the bank is a little bit higher because you have this Erpacht contract. That's I can tell you I wanted to buy a bigger house on an Erpacht property from the church. I would have a contract for the next 99 years, but the bank, they don't want to give you the loan because this property where the building is on top, like this this ground, doesn't belong
Yeah, the
to
ground is leased for 99 years from
Yes,
church, for example. No? Yeah.
Yes, 99, 90 years, always depends. Maybe the contract is still there and you step into this contract, but it's really hard to get the loan from the bank, really hard. And if it's hard to get the loan from the bank, they take more interest charge from you because they
Correct.
always want to buy their risk back. That's how it is, my own experience.
Because the prices are comparatively lesser.
I know, but I can tell you the interest charge is much higher. And also the possibility to get a loan is really low. If you bring more Eigenkapital, like more one-time investment, no problem. But I don't prefer this constellation.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
The next question is really good. They're all good. I have to say, all good questions. Would it make sense to invest in an empty apartment and find your own tenant, or buy an apartment with tenants already living there with low rent?
It always depends on the location. It always depends on the apartment. I would say, and both options are good. Just to buy in real estate is one really nice and good step to make the first step and buy. If there's a tenant, I mean, we have different advantages. If there's a tenant, you know, the rent will be there for the next years. If the tenant moves, I mean, there are a lot of solutions for every situation. If the tenant moves out, then we can increase the rent immediately. We can take more rent from the beginning. But show me some apartments out there which are empty and with a good price, because it's always it's always better to buy an empty apartment within current like there are a lot of differences, like a lot of advantages with a tenant in there, a lot of advantages without a tenant. It always depends on the location. If you have a good location, you don't have to worry to find a new tenant. In a not so good location, I would buy an apartment with a tenant which lives in. But the good thing is in Germany, you can always increase the rent every third year. So
yeah, it's always an opportunity we can make out of a bad situation. We had remember Samuel, like when someone died, so that it was like really like bad for us, and it was like not nice. But at the end, you know, like
I mean, I can tell you, we don't only sell real estate with a tenant in, but I know right now, I mean, this is a current situation which will change in the next 1 or 2 months. It could be that we have maybe one real estate. I mean, a lot of tenants move out, move in. That's how the market is out there.
Yeah. What's the best way to know how much rent you can charge for an empty apartment? And I've heard you can increase rent if you offer furnished apartments.
A very good question, and maybe that's a good point to switch over to our benefits. What do we offer? Very, very good question. To furniture an apartment is something. If you have the situation the tenant moves out, to furniture an apartment is something which increases the rent crazy. Okay. Also, if you have the good system how to rent it out. I'm not talking about just rent it out to a long-term tenant. This is one big benefit with us. This is what we offer to our clients. Imagine you buy a real estate today with a tenant in there, maybe without any tenant. What we offer to our client is you can you can choose. You can have a long-term tenant, like I am in my apartment where I live, or maybe you. But this is one option. The second option would be, you say, Samuel, I have an empty apartment, and then I will tell you, listen, we always sell in good locations. It's a good location to rent it out for guest workers or like Airbnb. And then I rent this apartment from you, and I rent it out as an like Airbnb. Or you say, listen, I have some money on my bank account, maybe in ETFs, and I know we have more percentage with real estate. I will invest in furniture. And I say, okay, let's participate. I give you the infrastructure. I give you the companies. I give you the back office. I give you the property management. I give it to your hands, and you earn more money because you rent it out as a furniture apartment. And I help you, and I also we participate, and then we make a contract between you, me, you, and us, and then you have more around about 30 to 40% more rent comparing to a long-term tenant. These options we also offer. Good point, as I said, to go to the next step, or go to the next point. That what do we offer? We told already. I told you already. And development. This is something. We are not just a real estate agency. We are not just selling real estate. We are developing a client. We're developing the real estate. So if you buy real estate, a normal real estate agent, he would just sell it. That's it. After signing contract, bye-bye. See you later. Okay, maybe next year. No, what do? We take care about after sale. Like the after sale is really good. We take care about after sale and the management. This is what we do for you. So as I mentioned, we have different options. Renting out for guest workers, Airbnb, a furnished apartment, and this is possible if we have off-market Immobilien, off-market real estate in good locations. Okay, we are not talking about locations in. I have to be careful. In Eastern Germany, for example. Okay, I'm not connected to this region, so we are talking about good locations where the option is to rent it out for a good price, for example, for guest workers, for students, for Airbnb. So this is not the only advantage, but also we don't take any commission from you. Some of you told in the beginning we have side costs around about more than those 8%. So we don't take any commission. We only take the commission from the current owner. Germany, a real estate agent takes the commission from the owner, also from the buyer. We don't take the commission from the buyer. Okay. And also, what do? We offer the infrastructure to 900 banks. So if you are interested, if you say, okay, the numbers are fine, the real estate is fine, then we check out with the bank. And also could be in Berlin, the Volksbank Berlin gives you not the best offer. Maybe the Volksbank in Frankfurt, maybe the Sparkasse in Munich will give you a better option, better offer. So we always compare with up to 900 banks. Okay. These are the main benefits, and I can tell you it's not just selling a real estate afterwards. I mean, everybody can sell your real estate. You can go to Immobilien Scout, eBay Kleinanzeigen, everywhere. This is what you can do. You can do this by your own, but I can say my own experience when I started 6 years ago. I had a consultant right by my side, which helped me and showed me everything. In this case, I mean, you hear my English, maybe not the best English, but I try my best and I show you everything on English. I go through every document on English. I explain the contract, I explain the loan, everything. So everything is clear to you. And then we go and sign the contract. And afterwards, also the service, everything on English. And also I explain, I take a lot of time for this. Even if you say, help me with my tax declaration. This is what we also offer, like what I offer. It's not a big thing, like not a big deal.
Yes, even we had like 2 clients, they bought 2 real estate, and they immediately after signing went to India, like for a 2 or 3 months trip, visit family. I remember that.
I got all the letters from the notary. I took care about this. This is something, I mean, I think 99% of the agents, the real estate agencies out there, they don't do.
Yeah, we do, like people who travel a lot or as an expat, we have like special requirements and special situations than Germans. This is what I like about the service. And yeah, it doesn't matter also which nationality you are. This is also a big like pro for real estate, because we had like in the past also when opening a bank account on Comdirect or with working with ETFs, there was like some issues about nationalities, you know. And also like tax burdens. So this is something that you won't have with real estate.
Yes.
There's another questions, like if you would you consider still investing in Berlin?
When I talked about Eastern Germany, I mean Berlin is a good location to invest. It was, let's say like this, it was a good location to invest. Right now, I think it's my own opinion. I mean, everybody has his own opinion. I would never say yes or no. My own opinion is Berlin is too expensive to invest right now, because the prices went up crazy. And I think to buy in real estate in downtown in Berlin, I mean, you will have to pay a lot of money for this. There are some better locations where you can develop better, like where you can where we expect more increasing the value. So Berlin is still a good location, but when I talked about Eastern Germany, I'm talking about far away Eastern Germany, like Chemnitz or those cities out there.
Where do you think, Samuel, is right now a good location to develop a real estate? Like I know that there's a different like location names like ABC, right? That name and location depending where it is.
It always depends on your how do you say, Geldbeutel purse? Geldbeutel.
So depending how much you have.
Yeah.
How much
it depends on how much do you invest, how much do you want to invest. I mean, downtown in a city like Frankfurt, Berlin, Stuttgart, Munich, you need a lot of money. And I say everything round about bigger cities, like my favorite is Frankfurt, and around Frankfurt is really interesting to invest because Frankfurt is growing. We have a good experience in the last 5, 6, 7 years in Frankfurt. We know the locations in Frankfurt. Right now, I'm sitting in Frankfurt. I'm half of my life I'm living in Frankfurt, so Frankfurt is my favorite. So, but it doesn't depend on where you live. If you have a good management and they take care of it, it's like an ETF. You don't go to Frankfurt to the Deutsche Bank and knock at the door every month and say, listen, what did you do with those 400 euros? If you have a good management, it doesn't depend on which city, as long as you make money with this real estate.
Yes, you have listings, right? Sandeep asked.
I have listings, but I offer individual consultations where we talk, first of all, what do you want? And if I know what you want, if I know what you could invest, then I offer real estates and I offer a good solution, a good real estate to invest in.
Yes, I have to say something from a client's perspective. Sometimes we as a client think we can invest more or less. But what I like what you do is like you check with the banks first, like what they will give you. Like you don't ask for a loan, but you pretend as asking for a loan, and then you have clear numbers what somebody could afford without being a a burden, a financial burden, and then you present the real estate accordingly to the budget and to the bank loan, right?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we are not just a real estate agency which just sends you a list and say just pick out some real estates and then we make an offer. No, we don't do this. First of all, I want to check out, okay, what do you want? What goal do you have in 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, maybe in 20, 25 years when you retire? And if we know, okay, which goal do you have, then we know, okay, how much should we invest right now? How many real estate should you buy in the next 5, 6, 7 years? This is how we go ahead with the client, not just send out lists or some real estate offers.
Thank you. We're running a little bit of time. Please, if you have questions, just you can like open the micro and ask directly. I think that's the fastest way.
Nobody wants to talk.
No, there were a lot of questions. There were good questions.
I mean, really good questions. Yes, really good questions. So, thank you for that.
And who wants to get in touch or has more questions, you can get in touch with me. I pass all the questions to Samuel. So this is also not our last webinar. I will continuing educating in real estates, especially for expats. And I think we're going to talk about taxes in the next webinar. And for like private consultations, if you want to like find out more about how someone works or what is it about, also look at your private situation. It's without commitment. Just let me know and we can check your situation too with Samuel. It's always very helpful.
Yes.
Everything. Yes, I appreciate that. Always helpful.
Good. So if nobody has no answers, no questions, then
Yeah, one last question maybe from my side. I've heard there are certain thumb rules. For example, the maximum amount of loan which you can get, it is 100 times your netto income, and your monthly EMI should not be, I heard, 30 or 35% of your net income. Is that correct, or
honestly,
it is case? Yeah.
Honestly, those numbers, I heard some numbers like this. I heard some numbers, but I always this is the job of the bank. If the bank gives you a loan, it's always cheap money. Why should I not take the money? If the bank gives me right now 2.5 million and I can invest in a real estate 2.5 million, I know at the end of my life or at the end of the period, I own 2.5 million. So why should I not take the money? So that's what I always check out with the bank, how much you would get and how much your EMI is.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I answer the question or maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kannst du das teilen, damit ich die Teilnehmer wieder sehen kann? Ich glaube, wenn du aufhörst zu teilen.
Okay.
Ah, super. Jetzt kann ich euch sehen. Cool. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you very much. So what is there something that else we need to know or you want to like pass you like the context, we get in touch with me and then we make like one-to-one calls?
I mean, yeah, from my side also at this point, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you got some nice informations, and also, I mean, Alicia is I think the best contact person to get in touch. She always organizes everything, and she's very helpful not only with real estate but with other issues also. So if you want to meet us in an individual call, contact Alicia. She will arrange an appointment with me, and then we will talk about everything. I mean, It's not. You always have to have a nice feeling. If you don't have a nice feeling to invest in some, I mean, we are talking about a lot of money, and if you trust people, and if you have the, if you see we have the experience with people, and why should you not? I mean, it makes a lot of fun to work with us. This is what I want to say.
and the numbers are good. The numbers
good.
talk. Yeah, the numbers are good.
A lot of recommendations from, how do you say? How do you say? Bewertungen, nicht Empfehlungen.
Yes, that's nice. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We're going.
I just have a small doubt.
Yes, of course.
I don't know about everyone, but I am a young engineer just starting my career the next month or so. So if I don't have a solid money of 20,000 or anything initial capital to start with, so how can I start investing in small amounts?
And in real estate.
Not only real estate, but maybe ETFs, or is there any other?
Yes, that's actually a good question.
Because I don't have initial capital right now. Maybe in 2 to 3 years I'll be able to land up there. So.
That's, you said you're a young engineer. Like we helped a very young client that I'm happy to share the contact, and he didn't put any equity, and so we got like 110% from the bank. It really depends also on the age. That's why I was mentioning the age, because each client is so different. It is so good to look into all situations. He was surprised. He was in the last webinar. He had a similar question. He was surprised with what little effort and how easy it was to invest in a real estate. If you, for example, you have the feeling, because sometimes we have feelings towards investments that you would rather invest with ETFs, you can start with 25 euros and build up your wealth. This is how I started. I started building up my wealth step by step. But let me tell you something, I wished I would invest it with my first job in a real estate. I just wished, because I lost like 15 years since I started my first employment. And I didn't know that the bank would rate me that good as a young professional. I thought I needed to be have capital, etc. So if you're young and you have a good job, you're an engineer, you're well educated, the bank is willing to support those kind of projects. And this is what I know from the consultations we had with clients. So if you shoot me a message, and we can have a look in the budget. It's dependent on the budget, also how much expenses you have. Are you helping family? Are you having, are you married, etc.? Do you have 2 incomes? So this also plays a big role.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you for the question.
Sure, thanks. I'll contact personally. Yeah.
Yes, so everything one, and I'm a fan of 2. I have 2 ETFs. I think Samuel has no ETFs, right? Samuel, you're all in real estate, and I have both. And I think having both is also healthy, because ETFs help me still to collecting capital for my next real estate and so on. This is how I do it. Some is a little bit more aggressive, all in real estate. Each client has to find a balance, and actually in financial planning, this is what is about, to find what makes you feel comfortable and safe, because at the end you invest money to feel safe in your future, and also to build up wealth, both. Yes. Perfect, guys. You must be hungry all. Time. Everybody's starving. I'm so happy to see you all. I will shoot you a message, or you can also write me a WhatsApp if you have my phone number, an email on LinkedIn, and I will get in touch with you. And I will also collect feedbacks from you guys, how you liked it.
Thank you, Alicia, for the organization, and yeah, it was nice.
Thank you so much, Alisa. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao,
Bye.
Mustafa. Ciao, Sandeep.
Have a good evening.